Good evening, everyone. This is delicious Don Juan, the Texas treat, and you are listening to the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is that guy, Tommy.
Happy early Juneteenth.
And we got Big Mike.
You know what? As we've said in the past week, we are happy that Don Juan is okay and recovered from his stuff. But he came back as a menace this weekend, and we have a lot to talk about in a little bit. God dang, man.
That's how you know he's doing great. That's how you know he's doing great.
Yes.
That's the best
That's
part
true,
about
actually.
it. So he's definitely himself. Yes. So
Yeah, he came back with a vengeance this week.
Yes.
Being a menace.
yes, we will talk all about the latest in the wrestling news world, some recent title changes, injuries, and other stuff. And talk a bit about things that happened this past weekend at United210 and the hybrid experience. So, lots to discuss. I think Tommy will also kind of talk a little bit about what went down in Japan too, as well.
Yeah, because quite a bit happened at New Japan Dominion.
All right.
Nice.
Well, you know what, Tommy? Why don't you kick us off? We get into the wrestling news piece of it. What
Sure.
went down across the Pacific?
Well, for starters, we have two new champions. We have Bolton Oleg, who's the new Never Openweight champion, and Gabe Kidd is the new IWGP Global Heavyweight champion. So,
How is that different? It's not the main one, right?
that's not the main thing, but
Yeah.
but Gabe Kidd, that's that they're putting another belt on him so soon after losing the last one. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
But the big news is, you know how Bullet Club, War Dogs, and House of Torture have been in a civil war. Well, the last OG of Bullet Club has defected to House of Torture. Bad Luck Fale has now become Don Fale, and also who defected with him, Chase Owens, is no longer officially in Bullet Club.
Wow.
He is now a full member of House of Torture.
You know, he
Interesting.
came out with some new video this week, like cowboy stuff here. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that was part of it. That's crazy.
Not only that, Doki, who also made his rounds in Texas for a while when he was still in his excursion, he joined House of Torture as well. So they're actually become a pretty stacked faction right now.
Yep.
I want to say something because I feel like this might happen. I feel like most people won't know that. So if he's at either of the next shows for Hybrid or United, and people are still like throwing up the Bullet Club,
Oh,
at him,
man.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just
Gabe Kid, yeah, not Dave
Dave
Kid.
Kid, not Dave Kid. That's funny.
By the way, Angel Sean, steady.
Hello,
How's it
everyone.
going?
Yes, steady. That is correct. We are on Spotify. You broke that news last week, and I'm still surprised that we're that popular. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making my family sign up, and don't worry, my family reunion is in August, and I'm going to make sure everyone there. If I have to use family guilt to make them sign up, they're going to, because
you can. What's up, Jason?
yeah, but no, the last holdouts from the old school Bullet Club are gone, and so
Wow.
no one quite knows what that means actually. So that's kind of
Interesting.
pretty unexpected.
Speaking of title changes back on this side of the world, and just happened on AEW Grand Slam Mexico, Mercedes Moné, the new
Are
CMLL
you
World
kidding
Women's
me?
Champion.
Wow.
Yes.
She
Yep.
can't keep getting away with it.
What was the one that she lost
It was the
just last?
RPW belt, I thought. Hold on.
Because she lost one where she didn't get pinned, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, no, sorry. Here's another one.
Another one. Okay. It was the... No, she still has that one. Never mind.
Well,
I think New Japan Strong. Did she lose that one?
New Japan Strong. That's the
Okay.
Azuma-
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Azuma-
But
Azuma
honestly,
one.
that's not even the biggest news of her week.
It's really not.
you want to break that one, Mike? Maybe I haven't heard of this, but go for it.
So it was finally revealed that she is dating again.
Oh.
And she is dating fellow AEWs. He's CMLL, right? All these guys that are coming in are.
He sadly, I think he was AAA before because
Or
that's
was
why
he?
he can't use Black Taurus anymore.
Well, it's the Beast Taurus, who is a masked man with a bull-like mask, but apparently underneath he's like the Mexican Roman Reigns. Is what we've heard. So he's also apparently on his off time becoming a lawyer, which I think is a legitimate thing. So they had some post where he, I'm gonna embarrass myself because it was in Spanish, but basically in Spanish said, "I find peace in your arms."
Yeah.
And yeah, they both. There's Jesus.
No Angel. It's not. It's no Psych in there. Nothing. She is collecting wrestling championships like Infinity Stones. That's basically what's going on right now. Dare I say she is I mean, a bigger belt collector than Kenny Omega was when he was going through that stage a few years ago.
Yeah, Kenny's probably a little jealous right now, honestly.
Still not quite Ultimo Dragon level, but getting there.
I mean, it's hard to get up to perfection. I mean,
yeah.
So. Look, all I will say is if she ever re-signs to WWE, there's going to be a lot of losses coming here too. It's going to be like a losing streak. Yeah. So, yep, it is legit. There we go. Streamers galore in Mexico. She's collecting championships everywhere, and yeah. So,
championships, beastly boyfriends, whatever.
Yeah. So
sometimes you're just winning at life. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I'm not jealous. Much.
Speaking of potentially losing championships, obviously we're going to see where the storyline goes when it comes to Liv Morgan. Only one half of the women's tag team champions in WWE, and just kind of barely. I mean, I happened to be watching Raw live. Kids and I were watching it, and it was just a basic beginning of the match. Bell rang in Kairi Sane, a standard drop toe hold, and Liv goes to break the fall and dislocates her shoulder, and is in pain almost immediately, or practically immediately, and to the point where they didn't show her in pain on camera very much. The camera just kind of went onto Kairi. I see there, Angel.
Yeah. What's up, James?
The camera stayed on Kairi, James, who was obviously very concerned. Maybe for another 30 seconds they had it on there, and then just went to an early commercial on Netflix of all places, right? Tina was looking up, and she got information that it looks like it's a 6-month recovery.
Yeah, just a little while ago they announced it looks like she's going to have surgery, which is the worst case.
Yeah, that's
for the amount of pain that she was in. Yeah, and it's almost immediate. Came out from commercial, kind of showed the replay in slow motion, showed her with her arm tucked, doctors keeping her arm tucked, and you knew it was serious. Didn't even address it on TV.
Did not pull a best of the best and asked to pop it back in.
No, but there was no promo backstage. So definitely, this is real. So, obviously, they're going to use this storyline. First of all, we don't know what's going to happen with the tag titles. Obviously, I don't know if they're going to say Raquel has a team with Roxanne to defend it now.
I mean, I feel you have some options storyline wise like that.
They do.
Yeah,
which could be entertaining, definitely.
Very entertaining because Raquel's that whole storyline there. This is going to get Roxanne Perez closer to Dom Mysterio, and you're going to kind of have that play out in a way. So 6 months from now, which is getting into Royal Rumble season almost. Let's see where this plays out. But I definitely wish Liv a speedy recovery. This is not the way you want to take a vacation in this business.
For sure.
So it's a very scary thing. Hopefully it's a successful surgery and a speedier recovery, and the rehab is comes back stronger afterwards. So
I'm starting to think James has a point. They should just like not get rid of the belts, but get new designs for the love of God. Because
yeah. Who knows?
Those belts have not had a lot of success in them. They have had a lot of unfortunate things go wrong with them.
Yeah.
Speaking of stuff that happened on Raw, Mike, you said it. Oldberg is back. I'm pleased, dear God, hope for the last time. I know, I get it. Saturday Night Main Event is in Atlanta. That's why they're doing this.
What day is that? The 12th.
What else is happening that day, Mike? I can't remember.
I don't know. I was thinking of going to a Rangers game, but
okay. I thought I'd just be in Dallas just to hang out for a bit. See some friends up there I haven't seen in a minute.
Like, I know we've talked about this ad nauseum for the last couple of weeks, but They're at the top. They are rolling over in money, and you are going this hard to like counter program. Like, it's insane. It makes you look paranoid at a certain point, honestly.
And honestly, it's almost worse than that because this is practically admitting that they're competition.
Like,
If you
hardcore.
like the same company, by the way, who you constantly say you're not competition, the same company everyone said stop, who told that company stop mentioning WWE, and they have. But now WWE's going out of their way to point out that, hey, these guys are doing something, so don't watch it.
And the thing is, I feel like the main audience who is an AEW type doesn't want to see Goldberg again. Like,
No.
I know, like, that WWE, like, they'll watch anything WWE does. They're going to watch whatever. That's not a big.
Yeah.
Like, I think most of AEW is going, oh, you know what? I had tickets to go to All In, but never mind. I'm going to go home and watch Goldberg on my.
No,
Really?
I mean,
Come on.
this is going to be cool for basically the people in Atlanta who are going to be there.
That's true.
But
Matt.
I don't care. You know, my concern is, dear God, don't injure Gunther, please. You know, and obviously, I hope he doesn't win a champion. He doesn't need it now. It's done. It's over. Like, the way you went out with that last match you had with Lesnar, redemption for that WrestleMania match you guys had years prior to that.
Which was trash.
Yeah,
That's-
but don't
yeah,
forget
that's
he
what
had
it
some
should have been
stuff
done.
after that.
Yeah, I know.
He
but
had the match with Taker that was really bad, and
That's
the
my
Dolph
point.
Ziggler
It should have
yeah.
ended with that last.
Oh, no,
Lesnar
it
thing.
should have,
Done.
yeah.
So, yeah, please just, I don't know, work your 5-minute thing because your cardio's not there anymore. And at least the shirt said what, the Goldberg last ride or something on like that.
Something like that.
Something like
yeah.
that. So I for the love of God, I hope it's
Also,
true.
please replace his the door on his locker room with like the easiest breakthrough, because that's literally what happened to him in the Taker match. Is he was doing his getting psyched up and he headbutted the door and gave himself a concussion, and was
Yeah.
bleeding on the way out. So, like, just put the hippie beads instead of a
The
door.
hippie beads.
Or
That's
just do
funny.
a Shockmaster entrance just for the hell of it. I mean, it's the last time. Why not? You know, one more time. So,
All right, that I will at least check my phone for if that happens.
Yeah.
or just come out as a tag team with Gilbert. Then I might watch. You know, that would be
Gilbert
kinda
would
cool.
be so over right now.
It would be.
And yes, despite rumors, if you haven't heard this stuff going on social media, Hulk Hogan is not on his deathbed. He was hospitalized with some neck and back issues, but apparently Bubba the Love Sponge, who apparently does no fact checking whatsoever, we know that, was claiming that Hogan was on his deathbed due to some
Not all
complications.
he does.
Yeah, but no, Hogan is not on his deathbed, was just in the hospital dealing with some back and neck issues. Still 71 years old, still Hogan, you know.
His popularity, however.
Yeah,
That's
that's his deathbed. We know that.
No. That's dead on arrival.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah.
that was evident by that.
Did
that
Benjamin
later.
Shelton send his regards? Or?
Man, let me tell you something,
man.
dog. I don't think I've ever respected Shelton Benjamin more, and now I never respected Mark Henry more. They're just like they said in the immortal words of Iron Sheik.
Yeah. Sorry, Tommy, to bring up Hulk Hogan the day before Juneteenth. My apologies.
Yeah.
But,
That's okay because
Yeah.
I'm going to celebrate exactly like I said, the same way Harriet Tubman and all the great black leaders before me would say. I'll just do nothing, and when I think of Hulk Hogan, I'll just raise my middle finger to the sky.
Yeah.
I know he's still alive, but just so you can feel the energy of just the immortal F him, that.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I need to go back and watch Grand Slam because all I saw was a picture of MJF's outfit when he wrestled Mystico.
Oh,
and
he's
it was
dressed in a.
full on All American. Mystico's full on Mexicano, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be
Oh,
great.
okay.
Yeah.
I think what the Saturday before that he was dressed like Hurt Syndicate. He had an MVP like
Yeah, he had an
singlet
MVP,
on
like,
and last
yeah.
night. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, shout out to Joe Hendry coming out in Mexico this past weekend
Yeah.
with a fan-made cumbia version of his entrance music. I don't know if you guys know
did
this.
Oh, I
know
didn't hear
that.
the fan made part.
I
Oh
didn't know
no,
that.
version, if you go back and look, it was one of those guys that makes like cumbia versions of wrestling themes, and he made a cumbia version of Joe Hendry's entrance theme, and that's the exact same version he used for his entrance.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
you can find that on TikTok. It came out like months ago. It was fantastic.
Okay,
Definitely hope you got the rights to it.
you know what? Give that man his world title back because that's a level of over that most people will never achieve.
Yeah. Now, Mike, I have to ask. I don't know if this is true or not, but is Lita going to be in the MCU?
In the MCU.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard something about her.
I mean, I'm obviously okay with that, but
I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know because you never know with stuff on the internet. But
was it?
I heard.
Well, you
I heard-
remember Abraham Lincoln said, "Never trust anything you read on the internet." So
Yeah.
Totally.
Some rumors
Huh.
that Lita has been cast as a Black Widow variant in an upcoming MCU film or TV series.
down. I
Yes.
am down.
I'm in.
100%.
I'm in.
So
Yes.
Have me at
I
hello.
don't know if it's true or not. I can show you the graphic because I know, Mike, you're going to want to see this.
Yes.
Where is it here? There you go. But yeah, it's apparently Widowverse Red miniseries. Don't know if it's real or not.
I mean,
but
I feel like it's not,
I
but
feel like it's not, but I know you would love it. So
yes.
yeah.
So,
So.
it is now in my headcanon. So,
You know how these MCU things go. Even if it's not real, maybe at some point it will be, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So
I mean,
Anyway.
everyone kind of spoke John Krasinski being Reed Richards into existence, even though it's for just one movie. So
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And we did get eventually Nicolas Cage as Superman twice. Once animated, once somewhat live action on The Flash.
fair.
You know. So
Yeah, no one spoke that into existence. Okay? There's a
Kevin Smith kinda
difference.
did. Hey, it was over, so
Nothing about the Flash movie was it being over was the best part of the Flash movie.
No. Supergirl was the best part of the Flash.
Oh,
movie.
okay,
Supergirl was the
touche.
best part of the Flash movie.
Touche,
Yes,
you got
she
me
was.
there. That's a good
She
point.
was. So
After that, it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
No, her, Michael Keaton, and then it was over.
Pretty much everything except the Flash.
Yeah.
all
the
right.
Flash was the worst part of the Flash movie.
Yeah.
Let's get into this
Grant
past weekend's
Gustin was
events.
right there. Sorry. I'll never get over that.
United
is.
210 was this past Friday, making its debut at the War Pit. First question I'll ask is, what do y'all think of the new venue? How is it? Did you wear bug repellent? Because that's a pretty mosquito heavy area, I think. So how is the new venue?
It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that kind of sucked at the beginning was obviously the sun setting. Although, if you follow social media, it made for some pretty nice looking photos with as that sun was kind of going down in the background.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting. Like there was definitely I bought bug spray. Jason brought his own bug spray, and then Stash brought some out that they had like brought for fans, and they were like, "Hey, anybody need some? Come get some."
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he was doing a pyro with bug sprays. They came out doing the Goldberg pyro.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, Angel, we'll get to that. Hold on, if you want to share it out loud.
Yeah.
But no, it was a pretty cool venue. Like there were still some places where like there were big ants, but they had kind of moved out of that area, so it was around the kind of perimeter of the rodeo ring or whatever it was. So what Stash did tell us is that they were literally at the line. They were in the county, not the city.
Okay.
Like on the outside of just outside the property, on one side was a neighborhood, and that was San Antonio, and then the property where the rodeo ring was the county. So funny stories. There was a dude, I guess, from the property riding his horse around like the outside, watching the show at times.
Nice.
And then there was literally a dude on the roof of his house in the neighborhood that was watching for a while until that menace Don Juan came out. And we'll talk about what his story was there in a minute. But literally told the dude, "You didn't pay us $10. Get off your roof and stop watching." And I think he did. I think he took him seriously.
Oh my
Now that we got
it's a whole Wrigley rooftop vibe. I hope everybody's
Yeah.
on the rooftop watching next time. So
Yeah, seriously.
oh my god, that's awesome.
But
And
yeah,
as somebody who lives outside the city limits, yeah, we're pretty lawless people out here on county property. fireworks
Love.
galore. So yeah, maybe they
Love.
can get some pyro going on the War Pit.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Probably.
Funny story about this is that there's United210 there laughing at that.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
Yeah.
Oi.
So actually, friend of mine attended that show as her first ever United210 show.
Cool.
Her daughter has played softball for me a couple times, and we actually she helped us out at a tournament this past Saturday. And her daughter's a catcher. She's just turned 10 actually earlier this year. But anyway, I saw her on her Facebook story that she was there. She was sitting down, and she had wrestling there. United210 I was like, and I think it was during the Casey Blackrose and Jesse Funaki match.
Yeah, that was the main event.
I was like, yeah, go Casey.
Oh no, it wasn't, but yeah, good.
I was like, yeah, go Casey. She's like, you know these people? I was like, yeah, I'm just here because my coworker invited me. I go, who's your coworker? She says, Rob Love. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So she was there with a few friends, just and loved it. She's a big fan of wrestling. Her daughter's a fan of wrestling. She never knew the independent scene. I talked to her the next day at the tournament. Is I really went to make sure it's like more family. I was like, yeah, most of the wrestling in town.
Yeah,
pretty much
United is pretty good.
Yeah, so she's gonna be taking her daughter out there more often. And she asked how I knew about it. I was like, I've been going to independent shows for a while. I have a wrestling podcast, and I'm pretty sure you saw a couple of my friends out there, or at least heard one of them. Do you
Well,
know?
Tommy got there a little late, but
Well, yeah. Well, do you know the friend of mine, Tommy, black dude, probably got all the chants going, was loud. Oh yeah, I heard him, saw him. So that is my funny story. Tommy, you were part of a friend of mine's very first experience at independent show.
I apologize to her.
No. She said, here's her honest feedback was, it was great having him out there. He kind of kept the fans engaged, and he was funny, and it kind of helps the show. And I said, that's the beauty of what you see on TV versus independence is that close interaction. Like they're going to interact with you more in person, respond to chants, respond to what's going on in the crowd. Whereas on TV, they're just trying to wrestle for the camera, more so the audience in attendance, right?
yeah.
So, but so yeah, it's obvious anytime's first event. So yeah, you probably saw one of my friends there. He's on the podcast with me, Tommy. Short description of what you are, and yeah, everybody knows who you are. So Tommy, there you go.
I think one of my favorites was you getting into it with Emmy during the triple threat.
Yeah,
that was pretty fun.
Oh, there was she was vocal today. During the triple threat, she was hiding under the ring, under the bottom rope, holding it. And I said, Key, really, just get Emmy. She's over here. She said, "Shut up."
Yeah, we were constantly trying to get Ridley and Key to just go after Emmy, and then
yeah,
get it down to a one-on-one.
Put your differences aside and beat up Emmy. Come on.
But she did say the venue was pretty nice. I think I saw there was like a building there. I don't know if that was easier or there was bathrooms in there. I pretty
there was bathrooms in the main place.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah. Because that's like it looks like normally it would have been the concession stand, and then it looked like bathrooms on each side.
Yeah, she said the bathrooms were pretty nice there for the venue because it's pretty unassuming as well.
Yeah.
So, question for you, Stash, seeing as are these events BYOB? Just wondering since it is county,
Yeah, I mean it's the same as that's what they told us beforehand. But Stash, you can let us know on the thing. But yeah, and I actually asked him. It was after the show about bringing canopies. He was like, "Heck yeah!" So
yeah,
that would have been pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
but
might block the view of anybody on their rooftop. We have canopies out there.
Hey,
out there. Yeah,
you know what? That's what them city folks have to live with. So.
Yeah, right. So Tommy, what did you think of the War Pit and the event itself? So
the War Pit's pretty cool actually. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of somewhere that RCW ran before. I can't remember where it was, but like it was pretty cool.
I know off of Old Pearsall Road.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I know. I know where it was. Mike, were you going to shows with us yet at that point?
Yet? I probably had stopped.
I'm pretty sure you were at that one. This was like it was at Old Pearsall Road. It was like a barn kind of thing. It was like an outdoor indoor kind of venue, kind of a covered patio type thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you were there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had those vibes for me. I thought the event was great. I had a lot of fun. United doesn't disappoint, so I think probably one of my favorite things had nothing to do with the actual venue itself was Danny O'Ryan meeting Cosmo O'Ryan who we did confirm later they're not related and their names are pure coincidence. But now United, it's official. We must do this now. We must settle who's the truly better Orion. So it needs to be.
You know what's going to
Orion.
happen? It's going to go to a draw. They're going to be a tag team and run that tag team division. That's just exactly what's going to happen.
Now,
Tommy
anyway,
chose a side for reasons.
I did choose some reasons. And no, it's not just because I don't like Danny O'Brien. I mean, not entirely for that. I mean, that definitely was a factor in my decision. But Cosmo Orion came out with a scouter from Dragon Ball Z, and he has anime patches on his jacket. So automatically, I had to be his friend.
Okay.
He came with a scouter, dude. I was like, well, that's my new friend. I don't have a choice anymore. I just, choices have to be made.
Yeah.
And I made my choices.
Very cool. Orion Grudge is in the works for the United 210.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes, that's what I have come to wrestling for.
Heard it here
Dudes
first,
the
guys.
Same last name weren't related.
Yeah.
Fight it out once and for all.
There can be only one. It's
There-
basically a Highlander match when they have the same
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is,
So-
and that's what I want.
And they even look like they would be brothers.
Dude,
That's
you're
the
actually.
thing. I assumed every time I saw them they were, because they even looked like they would totally be.
Yeah.
I was like, so y'all are totally not related at all. This is crazy because I think somebody's dad needs a talking to. Honestly.
It's like those two guys in Major League Baseball. I forget what the name of them is. They have the same name. They look pretty much exactly alike.
Oh yeah.
They're both pitchers, whatever. But they did a full-on DNA test, and they are not related. But it's the weirdest thing that they actually.
That's crazy.
It's part of that. It's like that doppelganger theory that everyone has one out there. It's like, and I think I do because like I swear I've had people say that that they've seen me before somewhere and like it's places I've never been and be like it's me. Now I'm hoping they're just not racist, but I'm just saying.
I don't know. How likely do you think there's a big, fat, bald, bearded Mexican in San Antonio? I mean, come on.
I mean, I get what you're saying. The odds are low in your case, Mike. But
At Lowe's, you'll probably find at least 3. Yes. That's not what you meant. Okay.
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's Fiesta. There's any Spurs parade. Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about the matches a little bit.
Yeah.
What stood out to you guys were some of the favorite matches you guys?
Well, by the way,
yeah,
they kicked off with the title match, which was crazy.
Oh, really?
Casey Blackrose and Jesse Funaki.
James, really? James, really? James, really?
If anything, it's way closer to me. Come on, buddy.
I was about to say maybe he meant to
James,
say
really?
Mike there. So, yeah.
Which Casey and Jesse have gone back and forth about 4 or 5 times now at different companies, and
I think we've seen all of them actually.
pretty close. And technically, it was the first match that Jesse officially had back at NostalgiaCon last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's been going at it over a year, but Casey retained the title. But goddamn, those two, man, they really go all out at it, and it was a hell of a match. They're starting a United States title tournament, and the belt was actually donated to them by James and his family or friends, whoever make the belts that James is always showing them and providing with. So it was 5 matches so far in that tournament, I think. Stutstash beat George Wolf. He advanced. David Teen, unfortunately, advanced over Brock Ali. But he needs
whenever David Teen wins anything.
Yeah, he needs to wash his face. He has dirt all over it, and he claims it's a mustache, but it's
the lies we tell.
Yeah. King Rob Love advanced over Jaden Valentino. So Brock and Jaden, again, we talked about finally getting matches that don't involve each other. But both had really impressive matches on both nights this weekend. Hybrid just keeps churning out young, talented wrestlers. Hit defeated Rilo King. Kind of technically defeated Rilo King and Armani Sage because he was at ringside and kept trying to interfere. But pretty lame noise complaint. That's what we call them. And then Animo wound up facing a replacement for B-Boy. I forgot his name, but someone there was a girl there who had his shirt. So I know he's somewhat known, but I forgot what his name was, and I do apologize. But Adamo won that kind of quick, which is kind of cool. So they're advancing on into the United States tournament. So looking forward to that because, we like title tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
The tag team titles, Sons of the Gulf Coast, which is Jacob Toa and Chaos Galvan versus Dead Man's Hand. Pretty much a no contest, which is like the second time they fought and there's been controversy. So I don't know what's going to have to happen with those two teams. They do not like each other. I like Jacob Toa and Chaos Galvan, except, they keep fighting hybrid guys, and, we got to take hybrid side because they're from the other guys are from Corpus. Dead Man's Hand, of course, we've had on this show not too long ago. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. We're going to have to do something to have a definitive winner. I don't know. Stash, Falls Count Anywhere, have another ladder match, hang the belts up, something like that. Just saying, I look forward to it. What else do we have? Then we had the triple threat for the women's title, like we were talking about earlier. Key Vibes, Ridley Thorne, and Emi Camacho. And Key retained her title in a good match there. And then also, before we get on to the main one, Stash had been posting a lot in the previous months about a little girl named Gwen who was in the hospital with some pretty bad stuff. Like, it didn't sound like she may have survived or whatever, but she did, luckily. And so they actually brought her out, presented her with a replica of the women's United210 title. We believe you, Stash. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And that was really cool. And then Key came back out too, because Stash presented it, and then Key came back out too, and they presented the belt, and like the whole crowd was going wild for it. It was really cool. 100% shout out to Gwen. So that was really cool. And then the main event was the 8-person ladder match, which was crazy. All the people that were in there: Epidemius Jr., Cosmo Orion, Armani Sage, Sakai Livin, Diego Rene, Danny Orion, Devin Carter, Lil Evil. Were doing some crazy stuff. They had 3 ladders, one taller one and 2 like 6 feet, and then one that was like maybe 8 feet.
Yeah.
And they were doing crazy things. Like, it was a hell of a match. Lil Evil came out with that one, who was the champion at the end of last year and had to give it up because of an injury that went to eventually Angel Camacho. So now he's got that briefcase back, and people just keep coming after Casey. So we'll see what goes on. But it was a hell of a show. Really enjoyed it. And we got to get back to the Angel thing we forgot to talk about. Yeah.
I've seen her put that. So
I'm sorry.
Her and David. So yeah.
So for, I guess, a little context, at the last hybrid show, she made a sign that said, "David Teen, you are the reason I'm a lesbian." And David Teen ripped it up. So this time, she made the sign again and put it in a sleeve protector. And he came out for his match, and she just yelled, "David Teen." And it's one of those moments where the kind of crowd, like, no one else was saying anything.
Suddenly quiet.
Yes.
Suddenly quiet, yeah.
"David Teen, you're the reason I'm a lesbian." And the crowd popped. Some dude over by us goes, "Happy Pride Month." And then the other side started a literal lesbian chant for like 10 seconds.
Lesbian.
And I was like, "Oh, good job, Angel. You're a celebrity now." So.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's what happened. That was Angel's David Teen.
Throw a Scott Pilgrim quote in there, Angel. Next time, just yell out, "I'm in lesbians with you," or something like that.
That's such a good joke, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I love that movie.
Such a good movie.
Yes. Oh wow.
I said lesbians, and he just walks away.
So yeah, that was,
Angel, awesome. Wish I was there to witness that. So I'll have to. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
But yeah, overall great night. Like, obviously RCW, United always brings it. I'm glad we found a place for now. Outside of the city, like we said earlier, that was a big deal for this.
I mean, it's not a bad venue to have. You're outside
really
city
not.
limits. It's and Stash, it sounds like it looked pretty sweet from every videos, pictures I've seen. why not hang on to that as a venue? You know, it's hard wrestling companies to find a consistent venue, and having that, it would be pretty cool. It's a good feel, you know. Outside Summit, big one, right? You know, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually get a retractable roof on that thing, and it's gonna be pretty epic. So, you know, yeah. But
Or like, what are some of those stadiums that have like the flags that kind of come up and cover, like
Oh,
a roof,
yeah.
but they're not like an actual roof?
Yeah. So pretty cool. Glad you guys have found a venue. Glad you guys have found a new home.
Stash said it's not far away, really. It's really not, because like
No.
I think I said this last week when I used to sub at Southside ISD. I used to drive down that way all the time. It's funny because like once you guys described like where it is, I was like, that sounds really familiar. And then I checked the map. I was like, oh, I know where that TJ Maxx is. I used to drive past that thing all the time.
So
Yeah.
funny story, you say that, and of course, I worked at Southside for my first 5 years of teaching.
Yep.
From 2005 to 2010. And another thing was, one of my uncles was an administrator at central office there too. So I happened to see him this weekend, and I was telling him about some of this, and I was like, "Did you know that there was just like he's like I drove," and he kind of said the same thing. He's like, "I drove that road for years. There are so many little things because." It's like when you going from 410 to Southside, a lot longer than you think.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, there were so many, especially back then. He's like, now he's like, I know they're building all those like distribution centers and bigger things.
That one right across the street was new. I never.
Yeah, they built neighborhoods out there since I've been out there. But like, he's like, there are so many little random things on some of those side roads. He goes, you could spend years going down. If you don't go down them, you're never gonna know. So
yeah,
he wasn't surprised, but I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Audie's best friend lives in that neighborhood, like right when you turn
really?
off 410.
Oh, wow.
Where all the street neighbors are golf
Yeah.
golf players. Yeah, she lives in that neighborhood. So it's might just tell her, like, hey, Audie, you want to bring your friend over to the wrestling if you ever go out there?
Yes,
So,
Angel, I've been teaching for 20 years. We've covered that.
dog. Angel trash sometimes, bro.
more drama than Love Island right now, I swear to God. Anyway.
Good night, James.
Yeah.
Crazy getting up early, man.
Night, James. Good night to Mike's doppelganger. Yeah. All right. Well, next United show, you said they announced is July 18th.
As far as I know, Stash, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe it's Friday, July 18th.
Nice. By the way, everyone, and Stash, a little word of advice for you too. Fireworks start going on sale next week. You don't have to burn them all at 4th of July. Save some, buy a good amount, and since you're in county property, let's add some pyro to that next United210 show. Just throwing it out there for you right now. You know.
I mean, Little Evil one time used it to distract whoever was in the match that time, so I'm guessing that's going to be a plan again. So
Would it be kind of cool to see Casey Black Rose coming out with a couple of bottle rockets? Just, you know, I mean.
Oh God, why'd that make me think of Joe Dirt? No. That whole scene. Sorry.
Honestly, everybody's gonna have the
Joe Dirt. Wow, there's a reference.
Mr. News, Mr. Joe.
Wow.
Everyone's gonna have the Orange Cassidy pyro that he gets. You know, just the one firework. Yeah. That's it. Oh, fantastic! All right. Moving from that, the next day was Hybrid Experiences Summertime Madness in the Hybrid School of Wrestling. Oh,
actually, real quick, let's
go.
There was a change.
Exclusive.
Actually, changed to the 25th because that's what's that week is.
SmackDown is in town. Oh,
on the that's right, and the Hybrid kids.
Okay.
Cool. Well then, so that's actually good news for me because I was not going to be able to make the 18th because I was going to be in Corpus for the beach, but now I can make the 25th. So
yeah, we're Tina and I are gonna be in Austin because the kids are going to be out of town with my parents.
And I don't know what I'd be doing that weekend, but I guess I'd have been there. I guess.
I'm curious to know then. I guess that's the next question because Hybrid is running as of right now on the 20th. Are they going to still keep it on the 20th? I guess that's a interesting question.
I don't know. That's what they announced at the end of the show. So we'll see if things change. We'll keep an eye on stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Speaking of which, Hybrid Experience. Now to compare venues, which was hotter, the Hybrid School of Wrestling or the War Pit?
Hybrid School of Wrestling.
Hybrid School of Wrestling because it keeps it all in there. Like as the sun got down and there was a little bit of a breeze, it was fine.
Yeah.
Sean Callie's birthday was this weekend.
Was it yesterday?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about it? We don't have to talk about it. But happy birthday, Kanji.
Well, there was a revelation that me and Denise Day revealed. If you haven't seen that video yet,
I have not. But is Kelly actually 21 now, or how old is she
yes,
now?
she is actually
Okay.
21 now.
Wow.
So is that still legal in Oompa Loompa Land, or like can you drink at that point, or how does that work in Oompa Loompa Land? I don't know. Are their laws the same as ours?
I am fulfilling my pinky promise, so I'm gonna.
Oh, that's right.
stay
You're
out of
being
this.
nice now. That's right.
Well,
yeah.
what was the revelation you and Denise Day had, or do you want to just share that video? It's
No,
up to you.
well, it's on. Yeah, give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
But no, seriously, the Oompa Loompa Land laws, like, so can Kelly drink now? Is it illegal? Is it still legal? I mean, does she still? I mean, I know she still can't get on any rides that adults ride, but can she still get on the kids' rides, or is she both too old for that, and too short for the adult rides? Like, how does
Well,
this
she
work?
can't rent a car. We know that.
But she can't reach the pedals, so it wouldn't even matter whether how old she is,
Yeah.
So
Callie or Denise, if y'all are watching this, I am not saying any of these things.
oh, that's right.
I
we're
was
on
asking about the
Spotify.
rental because you got to be 25 to rent a car.
That's true,
Yeah.
but she's still too short. Oh, that's right. We're on Spotify now, so they can't hear me. Don't worry, Callie and Denise. It is fully me, Tommy, saying these things because I don't want to be anything misconstrued. Because I still hate Callie. I don't care. So,
Piling it on. So,
why should I
A little
stop?
bit.
I have no reason not to.
okay. While Mike is looking that up, Tommy, how was the event Hyper Experience? What matches stood out to you, and any major news coming out of that?
I do know. So of course, again, I was late. So I heard the opening match between Armani and Jaden Valentino. Mike.
Jaden Valentino, yes.
I
Okay.
was a banger, so I want to go back and watch that. But as far as what stood out, you know what? That's hard to say because me and Mike said it. This was they called the show Summertime Madness, but also the subtitle should have been called Banger After Banger After Banger.
Yes, and also we missed something from United that we need to go back to and connect to Hybrid and connect to what I said at the beginning, which was Don Juan coming out and being a menace.
Oh, that's right.
So, by the way, United210 has a new GM after all, and it did not come from any of the videos or the people that presented videos.
Yeah.
Don Juan came out with security and told us that Stash, I'm sorry, this is what was said, and you were there because you weren't happy about it, but he said apparently over the previous week, him and Stash had tried to go out to squash the beef between the Texas Streets and the Texas Kingdom because, well, they've been fighting for a long time for the past year and a half.
Right.
Supposedly, Don Juan got Stash drunk on, of all things, peanut butter whiskey or something.
That's a thing?
Apparently. And he got him so drunk that he signed a paper saying Don Juan was the GM of United210. And so now apparently Don Juan is the GM of United210.
Let me get this straight. Don Juan pulled a Triple H and Stephanie marriage storyline to become the new GM. Is that basically what you're telling me here?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
That does appear to be what happened. After we were done,
recycle wrestling storylines and make them interesting.
Again, very happy that Don Juan survived what he did, and he's doing great. But he clearly didn't. It didn't put any good in him. He just came back with a vengeance, apparently. And after we finish the hybrid discussion, I'll show you the video in question. But we'll go ahead and continue back on there. Okay. So there was that. Yes, and then as Tommy was saying, if you want to continue, it was banger after banger.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah. So that's why it's hard to pick out a match that was like the best of the night because from top to bottom, every match just stood out. Although I have to, from a personal standpoint, the women's tag team match was one of my favorites because Kelly lost again. But she lost by countout because Anarchy Ash, like the rest of the known world, couldn't stand Kelly anymore and just decided, screw it, let's just fight each other. So, but
shout out, I'm not gonna say anything mean about Kelly. Shout out to Anarchy Ash for kicking and hitting J-Wave multiple times.
Yes, because I want to kick and hit J-Wave multiple times, but no one will let me.
Yes. You think he's joking? Tommy, is he frozen? No, you're not. Okay, sorry, JC. For a second, I thought you had froze.
I'm like reading through some news things.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah,
Tommy has asked loudly on several occasions, "Can I hit J-Wave?" And no one says no,
But no one
says
yes.
yes. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is that.
And before I do anything, I want to hear a yes.
Right after Jaden Armani, I think it was right after, was Jay Young and Brock Ali. Another banger.
Yeah.
Interesting development. Jay Young came out with the win. Jay Young's a part of Dead Man's Hand, and he was out there with Freak Show. After the match, Jay Young pulled Brock Ali up and shook his hand and, kind of raised him, give him props for his match. And then Freak Show stayed in the ring and gave him a card. And we think he may be seeing if Brock Ali wants to join Dead Man's Hand. As some of you may know, on a video from last month, Jesse James decided he needed to go see if he could defeat the Gorilla in the 100-man versus Gorilla. So it was in the video. All right, I'm just telling you what was in the Jesse James video. So he is, not with Dead Man's Hand right now. So they may have an opening.
Okay.
So, yeah. What else do we have there?
What if the Gorilla catches wind of this and gets a tag team partner?
What's that?
What if the Gorilla ever caught wind of all this and gets a tag team partner?
There were so many videos when that was a thing. So many reels and memes of it. It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny, actually.
And then also to add to that women's tag team match, after the match, Ridley did ask Key for a title match for her hybrid women's title. And Key accepted. So I assume at the July 20th show, it's going to be Ridley Thorne versus Key Vibes for the women's title, which
Interesting.
is going to be a good match. Sucks for us because we love them both.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to cheer for that one. But hopefully it's a good match, and we'll see what comes out of that.
Okay.
Jesse Funaki defended his Rising Star title versus who is this young up and comer?
Boy? I think it's pronounced B-Boy.
Oh, B-Boy.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Don't know much about him. I think he's from California. I think maybe influenced by Homicide. I'm not sure.
Fresh, young talent. I mean, just I heard a lot of good things about this kid.
Hold on, let me look that up.
I think he's going places.
He started wrestling really recently in 1998.
Yeah.
So right there in the Rising Star category.
Like I said, he's fresh. He's young. That kid's going places that he's already been before 3 times.
In all honesty, I think, Tommy, we had this conversation. I think you said this basically, but we're pretty sure B-Boy went up to Sho Funaki and said, "Hey, are you okay if I beat up your son?" And Sho seemed to go, "Yes, please do."
Are you okay if I smack your son around? Am I?
Because B-Boy beat the crap out of him. And he took a lot out of Jesse. And it took a lot for Jesse to come back. Jesse did wind up beating him and kept his title. But good God, for a good portion of the beginning of that match, B-Boy was beating the crap out of him. Took him outside to the bleachers, telling him to hit him back, and was taking it for a while. It was hell of a match.
Oh, yeah.
And then the main event. Oh, no. The tag team titles. The other part where
sure.
Don Juan was a menace. So, Texas Kingdom, obviously Stash and Rob Love versus Texas Streets, David Teen and Diego Rene. The Kingdom were kicking their butt for most of the match. And then one of the Treats threw, I think, Rob into the referee and then splashed him on top of it. So the ref gets knocked out. Abby Park, a great referee who has been doing a lot of stuff for Hybrid for a while now, came out to fulfill her duty to be the next referee. And of all people, who comes out, not only comes out behind her, but literally hits her in the back of the head? Don Juan, with a Hybrid jacket on. Takes off his jacket with a referee shirt. Right? Everyone's calling BS because you can't just come out when you're not a referee and be a referee. Literally just let the Treats double team and cheat and help them win. And they get a 3 count and we're like, this is BS. Obviously this can't happen. of all people, at the time, head official Vance Jackson comes out, the sheriff, the original sheriff, Nuff, I don't know if you're watching, came out and was like, no, this isn't right. Y'all aren't the champions. And then Don Juan said, do you remember who runs Hybrid? It's Chris Marvel, the Texas Treat. So Don Juan strips Vance of his badge, of his hat, and tells him he's basically no longer the head official.
Huh.
And then Don Juan said that when Marvel came back, or when he came back and he, survived his cancer and all that, that Marvel said he basically had 3 wishes. Apparently, one wish was to be referee for the night. So apparently, it is technically legal what he did, and for them to be the tag. So the Treats are now the tag team champions, paper champions. # not my champions.
Oh,
as far as I'm concerned. Then another wish we hear about later. This was actually discussed at the end of the show because Casey took on Hit in the main event, which was a hell of a match.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, there were a lot of people behind Hit because he's big and he's awesome and he's really impressive.
Crowd was pretty split, yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty split crowd. Casey did come away with the win. It was close. There was so many times where the crowd was like, oh, that was a 3. No, that was a 3. But Casey came away with the win, broke his back about 3 or 4 times. Had to get to the second rope to kind of jump and attack his back, but he got the win. Afterwards, who comes out to attack Casey but the Treats? And that's really where Don Juan discussed the 3 wishes he was given. So apparently a second wish is he's going to have a title match with Casey whenever he's cleared. Not sure when that is. The third wish he was not shared with us yet. So basically,
to be a real boy. Oh, sorry.
The Treats just decided they get to be in charge of everything. And it really bothers me that there's fans that like this. So I don't know. I'm not one of them.
I mean, there's always those heel fans out there, right? I love the authority figures and whatnot. So
I mean, Sean's in the chat, so
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, the shows were awesome. The matches were awesome. The wrestlers, both nights, giving it their all. And
I love it. That's the best part of independent wrestling too. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So the next hybrid event is Sunday, the rated July 20th. Basically SmackDown weekend in San Antonio, if you will. So SmackDown on Friday. I'm assuming there's maybe like a live event or something on that Saturday. And then of course hybrid will run on the 20th. So far in July we got RCW on July 6th. Hybrid Experience on July 20th, and now United210 on July 25th. So,
we're down with that. Also, Stash, since you're here and you're talking about bringing some more people in, I know you say there's always hungry people wanting to come to United210. May we offer the names Denise Day and Ray Perez from Laredo and 5 Star?
And may I offer my services to be the manager of the kingdom if you just let me hit J-Wave? God!
all right.
Yeah, Angel, don't do that. I will stop mentoring you if you turn into a treat.
And I'll make
Stash is literally in the chat.
And I'll make fun. And I'll make
He's
fun
not
of
gonna like
Callie
that.
more.
He's
And
not gonna
believe
like
you me, I have only just begun to fight.
Well, all right, Angel, you're banned.
You know what? You know what? Not only is Callie short, she's actually from that same dimension from the Quantum Verse because she's that short. She's actually a giant there. So
Angel, if you want this to continue to be true, you better stop being a treat.
Yeah.
There's my threat. Speaking of which, let me share the birthday video that I made for Callie.
If we have
Okay.
to.
So give me a second. Let me pull this up. Don't start playing yet. Don't start playing.
Don't
Okay, hold
stop me now. Don't.
Share screen. My drive.
Hope the audio comes out.
Let's see. Can y'all see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Can y'all? Let's see if y'all can hear this.
Yes.
Yes.
Make it full screen.
What's up, Kelly? Great Mike here, and as you can see, I'm here with Denise Day. And first of all, we want to wish you a happy birthday. I know in the past 2 years of you wrestling, I've said things at times, but I've been trying to be nicer. And so you know, she has been prompting me to be nicer to you too.
I have.
All right, so happy birthday. By the time you see this, there should be some big red coming your way, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. There is one other thing, though, because I did tell you a little while ago that there was a family secret we didn't talk about. So the thing is, me and Denise, we consider each other family. But she has also let me know that
You're my little sisters, so in a way,
I guess we're family now. I know that's a lot to deal with on your birthday, and just for context, Tommy's holding the camera, so if it falls, that might be why. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that. That's a lot to deal with. I've been trying to be nice to you, and I'll keep doing that. I will boo you if you're wrestling Ridley or Key or Alejandro. That's fair, all right, but I won't say mean things. I just won't cheer you. Okay? Think you promise. All right, so that's the family secret we have to reveal. Apparently, we're siblings. We're going to have to deal with that at some point.
we're related.
We're related. Happy birthday.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. This is one of my favorite pictures. Just the way it ends like this.
That is
That,
actually
that
really
needs to be screenshot and made to be your new Facebook profile picture. Look, I'm
Actually,
going to throw this out there. Was it not last year that you got a cameo from Calientito on your birthday?
we've gotten several
You
cameos.
got
from
multiple
Cali.
ones. All right.
Yeah.
That is a great cameo from you and Denise for
Yes.
Calientito. So now, obviously, you have a younger sister and an older sister. Now, apparently,
Yeah.
you have an even younger sister.
and shorter.
Yeah.
I think my
you
nieces
ready
and
to-
nephews are all taller than her. So
Easily. I haven't seen your nieces and nephews.
Definitely your oldest nephew and probably your oldest niece. I can definitely
Wait.
agree with that. So,
how did that guy jump in the chat?
yeah.
I have my ways.
Okay. So I guess I'll ask this, Mike. Are you ready to have an even younger sister now? I mean,
So I'm gonna give her some time to contemplate that. I don't know if she's we've been okay with each other recently, but I feel like family is a big step. So I'm gonna give her some time. I don't think she's ready to deal with that yet. Even when we gave her Denise gave me some money to add to the gift. I gave her Big Red and some hot Cheetos at the hybrid show. She was like, I love Denise, thank you. And I guess you too, Mike. So it's we'll see.
Some barbacoa. It goes great with Big Red.
But like I said, and the funny thing was, we made that video back at the end of May when Denise was in town for a show. And if you listen to it, I literally said, if you're facing Ridley, Key, or Alejandra, days after that, they announced the hybrid show, and it is literally a tag match against Ridley and Key. Now, I kept my word. I did not say mean things to her.
And I kept mine and
To her
did.
face.
Yeah, but I didn't cheer her. I did boo her.
Okay.
So,
But I kept my word and said mean things to her face, to her
You
side, to her
did.
back, to the top of her head. So that's still clearly all I can see when I stand over her. So
Yeah, Angel, stop making this about you. It's about us.
Wow, that's funny.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah. Thank you.
She's too young for that.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God, she's too young for that.
All right. Well,
I hate
my
how time- I
my
hate how
1 minute
time
warning
works.
is going to be something else she's too young for as well. But anyway.
Damn.
No, stop it.
You said
I
it.
guess it's time to move into our 1 minute warning here.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have something this week, or was that it?
Yeah, I think we'll take that as my 1 minute warning.
Okay.
Um,
Tom, what
but
about you?
sta-
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say one more time. I'll reiterate: Stash or Brandon Oliver or Hybrid. If y'all want to bring Denise Day and Ray Pettis back into town, anytime we are down because they're family. So.
Oh, she does know Mean Girls. Never mind.
Well, no, she says that with a question mark.
That's true.
Okay,
That's
did you
Mean
spell
Girl?
That as Mean Girls the movie or the upcoming remake of the movie?
Didn't that just
or
come out?
is
already?
about to come out or
I
something.
think it's
I
come
don't even
out. I
know.
don't think it's come out.
Oh, I thought it came out
The
already.
stage production of it, I don't know. They've had so many things.
I
from
forgot
that.
there was a stage production, honestly.
Yeah.
She does
Tommy,
have
you got something this
CDs.
week?
Yeah, sure. I got
All
something.
right, go for it, sir.
Okay, so with all my complaining about WWE and their bookings, and I do have many more words. I'll give a lot of other pro wrestling credit besides just AEW that we're still in a good place. WWE still may be making moves that I vastly disagree with, but we're still in a good place pro wrestling wise with everything that's going on. And on top of that, I don't know what the over under is on this or percentage wise of people who are saying this, but anyone who made fun of Liv Morgan getting injured, you're not a wrestling fan. You're trash as a person because I don't care what her gimmick is. I don't care if she's getting booed. If you don't like her, that means she's doing her job. But if you legitimately took joy in her getting injured, you're a trash person, and you should be ashamed of yourself because who raised you? It's still pro wrestling at the end of the day, and unless the wrestler is a truly vile human being behind the scenes, they don't deserve to be injured. Liv Morgan does not seem like a truly vile person behind the scenes. It's the exact opposite. She's or liked or respected in the locker room. She's a wonderful person, and heel or face, what happened to her sucked because that was a pretty basic move. Bad, just a freak accident because in pro wrestling it happens. And that's why pro wrestlers deserve our respect because in this thing that we love to watch them do, any little thing could happen. It's all physical, it's all intense. Speedy recovery to Liv Morgan. Get well soon, but get well in a safe way. Don't rush anything. Pro wrestling will be here when you get back.
And a corollary to that, if you're saying stuff about Kyrie Sane or trying to call her out, saying she's injuring people,
Yeah,
not. It's a fluke thing. It's one of those where the wrestlers to protect themselves on that. It's just she did a basic move, and that's one of those freak things,
and like and it's a drop toe hold. It's like one of
Yeah.
the safe. It's like one of the safest moves in wrestling. What more could she have done?
One of those fluke things, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like
more-
so that same thing. If you're trying to call out Kyrie Sane for a drop toe hold, okay, guys, it wasn't a drop kick to her shoulder, and even that, it's just that's wrestling. It could happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's no one's fault. Basically, that's what I'm saying. It's no one's fault. It was a freak accident. Sad it happened. It sucked it happened, but Liv's a fighter. She'll recover fine. And just Liv, take your time.
Yeah.
We'll be here when you get back.
As for my couple things, and first of all, yes, one thing that Angel is definitely too young to remember. First of all, I love Gunther, and I love his response to the fact that he got booked against Goldberg. Did you see his message here?
Yes.
I'm next. Guess I can spare 3 minutes. And let's just throw this out there. Did somebody say 3 minutes over here on the right-hand side? Fantastic troll job here by Gunther on that. Angel, I don't know if you would get that reference because it's much older than you. It's obviously here on the 1 minute warning segment, but one more thing. Yes, Sean, definitely. No Liv versus Nikki Bella. Please, dear God, keep Nikki Bella off of my screen. One more thing I want to call out too is that it's kind of missed here on the pop culture reference thing. We're getting a Spaceballs 2, guys.
Yes.
And let me just flat out say this. The amount of videos I'm seeing of people who are going back and watching the original Spaceballs for the very first time, and believe me, it's actually top 10 movies on Max right now, by the way, the original
awesome.
Spaceballs.
Nice.
T and I have decided within a year or two, we're going to show the kids Spaceballs because they've seen all the Star Wars movies. We're getting ready for Spaceballs 2. Go watch it. Whether you're a fan of Star Wars, Star Trek, any sort of those movies that came out at the time, it still holds up. Still holds up to this day. All the jokes are great. Matter of fact, if you're watching this, go ahead and put in the chat what your favorite Spaceballs quote is, and I'll go ahead and ask that of you guys as well. Mike, favorite quote from the original Spaceballs movie?
God.
Your favorite scene?
Dude, I haven't watched it in so long.
I gotta be honest. I think because, and you know how I grew up, how like kind of strict the conservative was. I honestly think the combing the desert scene was my favorite, just because he cusses in it.
Yes.
No,
We
he
ain't
offends
found
me.
shit.
And then it's also you kind of like they leave the camera on him, and he just
Yes.
kind of stares and feels he's like, oh shit, did I mess up?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think as a kid, because like if you watch it on KBB, obviously it was like we ain't found stuff or like the
Yeah.
whatever. But on the original version, that just cracked me up.
With the freaking
Afro pick too of all things
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
coming
yeah, of
with. That's the
course.
best part. Tommy, your favorite scene or quote from Spaceballs 1.
Okay, so because I think Rick Moranis was probably one of my favorite actors at the time, and like especially any like Mel Brooks thing in my family tends to make us laugh. And I love long comedy bits that go on for a while. The the videotape of them watching it's like when is this happening? Like, what's happening now? It's like but when is but now is then. But no, but now it's now. But when is now? Now is then. Like, I love long bits like
When
that.
will then be now?
Yeah,
Soon.
soon. Yeah, I love long bits like that when they're funny. I have to stress when
Yeah.
they're funny. And Mel Brooks was a comedy writing
Oh
genius
yeah.
of
Yes.
making long bits like that hilarious. So that's why my favorite because like they keep looking back. It's like, well, it's now. It's now. It's like, well,
Shout out to my friend Kathy. All through college, we'd randomly quote that.
Yeah.
yes.
Sean's got another good one in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite.
Okay.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Keep firing, assholes. That is just fantastic. Cross-eyed, everything like
That's
that.
the thing. There's so many. Like the whole
There
Yeah,
is.
movie.
okay. That's the problem with saying what's your favorite line in a Mel Brooks movie to me for me specifically. It's like if I see a Mel Brooks movie and that's my favorite line, I may need a minute longer. That was the first thing I thought.
I
of.
still say ludicrous speed a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And dear God, if he doesn't get Luda
To come in and be part of Ludacris Speed this time around.
Yo, I didn't even think about that. And
What's the
you know,
matter, Colonel Sanders?
and you
Chicken.
know Ludacris will be in for it. You
Yeah.
know he'd be
You know
down
he
for
would.
the
Here's the crazy part. As old as Mel Brooks in, he's already planning to reprise his role as Yogurt. Please, dear, tell me there is going to be a mini version. Obviously,
Like a
with Grogu
Grogu?
now, and they're going to call it
Grogu?
Gogurt. They got to call it
Go there you
Gogurt.
go.
They got to call it Gogurt. Flat out. You know, they just have to.
And you saw that Bill Pullman's son, who
Yeah,
was
Bob.
Bob,
He's
He's
been
Bob,
Bob in
Bob.
2 freaking movies, by the
Yeah.
way.
Rumored to play his son or the son as Starburst.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, this
I
movie.
wonder if he's going to look Jewish because he'll be half Jewish. You know,
This movie's already got my money, and it's like
And wasn't the whole point?
It's like as soon as
Spaceballs
it's like as
the
soon as
search
they
for more money.
seriously,
Look.
it's like as soon as they announced it, I was like, well, there goes the cash I know I'm going to spend on this movie because I'm going. So
look,
Here's all I'm going to say.
years ago, 20 years ago now, when Star Wars Episode 3 was going to be released into theaters, Draft House,
If I had the means back then, I was going to attend
that premiere dressed as Dark Helmet because I wanted to pull that costume off for the hell of it. 2027, I finally have a reason and potentially the means for it, depending how these fucking tariffs go. But I want to try and dress as Dark Helmet because Rick Moranis, of all movies for him to come back to, he retired obviously when his wife passed away. He was raising his kids. Him to be coming out of retirement for this movie, this long-awaited sequel, like we've been waiting a long time.
it just tells you how big this is.
oh yeah,
It's amazing. And
If this is Mel Brooks' last movie, because he's getting up there,
I'm fine with that because he's done so many great things.
Men in Tights, silent movie, Young Frankenstein.
Blazing
Let's not even
Saddles,
forget-
History of the
Yes, the
World.
number one comedy, my favorite personal comedy of all time is Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles is one of the greatest comedies of all time.
It flat out is. You want to talk about a
it-
movie that has even more quotes? Right there,
I
Blazing
want to talk about a
Saddles.
movie that could never be made past the year 2010.
Oh, but Men in Tights was so good too, dude.
It was. There's the funny part. It's my wife's favorite Mel Brooks movie. And I try to tell her, if you watch Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, which she's never seen, that movie would be so much funnier.
She hasn't
It
seen
would.
that.
No, she hasn't. because I guess she prefers Robin Hoods that speak with an English accent.
Yes, of course.
So,
Well, I mean, naturally, but no, dude. Oh, dude, you got to talk her into watching that one just one time.
I
Just
am
one
working
time.
on it. I want her to see it one
Talk her
time and then
into
watch
just
Men
one
in
time,
Tights.
and
It'll
then
be so much
immediately,
better.
and then promise her you can immediately watch Robin Hood Men in Tights immediately afterward.
Yes.
So just one time, just watch this. And
Pissed off? If I was that close to a horse's dick, I'd be worried about getting pissed on.
Yes.
Okay, another real quick.
Please, dear God, give me a Spaceballs double feature in 2027. That's
Oh,
the only thing I
yes.
want. Yes.
Okay, so real quick before we go, you want to talk about my favorite long bits of all time? The fight at the bridge at the stream between Rob and Lil Jon. What's my favorite long bits? That from start to finish, the whole.
We're men in the tights. We're manly men.
Ow! Ow!
Yeah.
Oh,
Man,
Just for blinking the whole time too.
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
Blinken was probably one of my favorite characters because that joke also got ran into the ground, and I could not be happier with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Robin Hood Men in Tights at some point this week now.
Yeah.
Man.
Go ahead.
I almost feel like I got to catch up on all the Star Wars stuff. Just gonna make.
I might need to make this a Mel Brooks weekend, dude. Seriously.
I honestly was thinking that because I was like, now I want to watch the producers too.
Oh man! Thank you everybody for watching and listening on Spotify to this event.
Couple other things. Apparently, our Jurassic World Rebirth giveaway is tomorrow at noon. So check the Countdown City Geek social.
Okay.
We have screenings in Austin, Houston, Dallas, and here in town. So check those out.
Let me know when the giveaway is for Spaceballs too. That's what I'm more concerned about right now.
Also,
Search
one
for
other
more
thing, wrestling news we did forget. Friend of the WrestleCast, Black Swan, Zoe Dubois, made her return after a long injury, almost a year, maybe over a year, if I'm not mistaken. This past Saturday night, and won the title. Crap, I gotta look it up, but she won the title first night back. So super psyched for her.
Okay.
Yeah, super psyched for her. She had. If you don't follow her, go follow Black Swan Zoe Dubois on Instagram and whatever. The gear she came back in, like a little bit altered, was fire. It looked awesome.
She never doesn't have fire gear though.
Yeah. But
yes, Angel, another Jurassic World movie. This one's got Scarlett Johansson, so I'm very interested in this one. Yes, for sure.
I wasn't interested until she was in the trailer.
I mean, yeah. So
I'm telling.
And let's not forget the Naked Gun.
I mean, guys, you have the internet.
Fantastic.
I don't care. I like seeing Scarlett Johansson just period. So
okay.
On the big screen. But I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the Naked Gun. I'm happy that's getting rebooted.
The Naked Gun looks so
I want to, yeah.
Yes.
I want to see it.
So,
Liam Neeson too, of all people.
I doubt that dude. Seriously. Okay.
Like he's got to make Taken jokes and stuff in there.
There's no way there's not a
going
Taken
to.
joke. There's no way there's not a Taken joke in this movie. I refuse to believe it.
I like how they just flat out called Nordberg out right there. The guy's like, no.
Yeah. No.
Of all things, it's so fantastic. Anyway, thank you again for watching and now listening on Spotify. This episode of the Count City WrestleCast.
I forgot. I do have a sword. It's the Power Rangers Red Ranger Tyrannosaurus sword. So I have two episodes.
How this somehow turned into a wrestling discussion, and then of course Mel Brooks movies and movies
Capital
in
City,
general.
Mel Brooks.
Some things transcend all genres of podcasts, and Mel Brooks movies.
Mel Brooks transcends so much.
Yeah. Yes, and I wouldn't be doubted if he's going to have some story. And, yeah, Happy Gilmore too, of course. Yes.
Oh my God, that's
can't wait for that on Netflix. Next week we will preview WWE Night of Champions, and to be completely honest with you, depending on what is going on in the Middle East right now with these fights between Iran and Israel, I'm just throwing the speculation out there. I haven't seen any reports of it. Might they move this event out of the Middle East because it's a bit scary in that area?
I kind of hope so.
I hope so as well, but yeah, well, all eyes are going to be on what these world leaders are doing. Obviously, it's a very tense situation going on over there, and to be quite frankly, this has been going on for centuries. It feels like that area.
I mean, yeah,
but hopefully, it's a conflict that can be resolved at least peacefully sooner rather than later. But don't be surprised if things get very, very hostile in that area, and if the U.S. is involved with it, if WWE may decide to either cancel the event altogether or try and find a venue on this side of the world that would be able to do it last minute. But it's definitely a scary situation over there. But we will talk all about Night of Champions
That's pretty much the only show going on next week, right? NXT's not running anything, I don't believe.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So
Well, AEW doesn't have a show, so they don't think they have any reason to put shows on. So
Yeah,
okay.
they don't have a reason to have a Saturday night's main event or a Sunday night's main event. Which, by the way, I know is not a thing, but the joke still works.
they would know. They would
Yes.
totally make
They
it.
would totally
They
create a
would.
Sunday night's main event just to
Yeah.
Angel, you've been alive as long as we have, and believe me,
What?
This is your generation's Persian Gulf War. That's kind of what it was for us. I can remember in the early '90s, not even thinking that kind of stuff was possible, and then here we are. Iraq invades Kuwait, and the U.S. gets involved, and that's kind of the first my experience of that I can remember in my life where people were being sent overseas to war, which is crazy. So
Yeah.
pretty wild, huh? So.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us once again for the Countdown City Mel Brooks cast. What's over here?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
I find, look, if we ever start that, and I'm not kidding, I'm in. I am so in.
Eddie, make it happen. We'll just like live react to a movie we haven't seen in years. Maybe get somebody who hasn't seen it, like our kids.
Or a movie we've seen recently. I don't care. It's Mel Brooks. I can watch this movie twice in a row. I don't give a damn.
Straight up.
React to movies we can't watch this day and age. Blazing Saddles, number one.
Blazing Saddles is like the top of that list.
Sunday Night Heat. Oh, I swear to God, if you
Sunday Night Heat.
Jesus
I
Christ.
forgot that show.
Yeah.
Shotgun Saturday night.
Yeah. So, God, if Tez was still alive, we would so do our live reaction to December to Dismember. I know he had a blog post years ago about how bad that show was and why it was
I wonder
horrible.
if it's still up. I wonder if his website's still up.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
Yeah.
over here we got Tommy,
Thanks, guys.
we got Mike,
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
and I'm JC. As always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are.
Next week.
Na 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 na